There we go. Let me just set up the desktop in the background. I know it's a pain. You guys always are on me like, hey, why don't you do this ahead of time? But it's not possible. It has to be done at the start of the show. So I'll just type into the chat so I can set that up. It's hard to see with the selfie stick holding the camera, but I'm starting it. Hey, Jane Rice, welcome in, my dear. I'm just setting up the chat. Just give me a second. Just make sure I can see the screen behind me and I can see all the messages. Hey, Jewel. Hey, Sherry. Welcome in. Okay, now I got to get the computer caught up with the cell phone. Hey, Bridget. Hobble One. Sherry from Louisiana. Welcome in. Bridget. I have a family member named Bridget. Where are you coming in from? Kathy. I'm here. Thank you, July. Yeah, if I'm not pronouncing your username right, just let me know. Hey, Joyce. Wow, 16 people already in the room. 16 people in the house. Hey, I'm April Davis, PI, and it is June 17th, 2026. I am a licensed California private investigator. I've been reporting for 137 days now on the Nancy Guthrie case. Yeah, it's day number 137. And I just wanted to clarify a few things after I made last night's video. Well, first of all, yesterday's afternoon video, it cut off, and then it demonetized itself. So apparently all my views counted for nothing on that. So that was just a waste of my time and your time. The video that I came out with yesterday, the live in the afternoon regarding Jetpack Man, yeah, it cut off before it was finished. I didn't know it cut off, and all my audience started to disappear. And somehow YouTube kicked off the monetization button. So all the views that I had, 800 views, it wasn't much, counted for nada. Then I went on the air last night and I talked about Nancy Guthrie because I wanted to respond to a viewer's comment regarding that PI in Arizona. I don't know if he's an Arizona PI, but he's been in Arizona for like a week investigating the Nancy Guthrie case. And I have to keep my mouth shut on what, some of the things he said. But I can reiterate, and I've said this from the very start, that I personally don't think that Mexico is involved in this. It's possible, but it's on the lower end of the possibilities in my mind. Just wanted to say that. And remember, everybody on my channel is innocent until proven guilty. Today, we're going with a Canada Dry Zero. I still haven't been able to get my diet ginger beer from Australia. Thank you. He says tap that like button. Or is it a he or a she? Jalay. July? What do we call you? Let's see. Okay. On a prior video, one of you guys asked me, and I couldn't really answer it because I'm not that tech savvy, what is a wrench attack? And what is a wrench attack by proxy? And so we did a video about this, but I didn't understand all the terms. I understand what a wrench attack is, but wrench attack by proxy, let me just explain that a little further because this is still very prevalent in the news, which, by the way, if this were the case with Nancy, it goes back to my original number one reason for all of this, and that is the Savannah factor. But it's only a possibility because remember, 75 to 92% of people that are abducted, kidnapped, and unalive, that happens by someone that they know, someone that's very close to them, like family or friends or coworkers or neighbors or someone that works in the home, somebody that they have a maybe not a close relationship. It could be, can be an immediate family member, but it could also be like a caregiver, the pool guy, a delivery person, an Uber driver, but with me, I've always leaned towards the Savannah factor just because she is the mom of a celebrity that makes a lot of money. And me being a Hollywood PI see this. So let me just clear this up. A wrench attack refers to using physical force or threats, historically popularized by a webcomic depicting hitting someone with a $5 wrench to force an individual to hand over cryptocurrency private keys. By proxy means the attackers target a vulnerable friend or a relative of the actual cryptocurrency owner to extract the ransom. Uh, that's what they say, but I don't believe that, although they haven't traced that account. Hubble one says crypto ransom can't be traced, correct? I think it could. But I'm not. Uh, oh, being a knucklehead, aren't you? Hey, James Smythe. Oh, it says it's a digital bypass. In cybersecurity, impenetratable encryption often protects digital assets. A wrench attack physically targets the human holding the password, rendering digital security measures useless. Well, I doubt that Nancy Guthrie would have like Savannah's password if Savannah happened to own any cryptocurrency. Um, the term stems from a widely circulated 2014 webcomic where an attacker bypasses encryption by drugging a target and threatening them with a $5 wrench until they reveal their password. Like, I got you. I just don't believe that. I mean, anything is possible. The crime, it typically involves stalking, kidnapping, or home invasions committed by criminals to demand immediate transfers of digital currency. I really am not betting on that's why the perpetrator or perpetrators plural spent 41 minutes in the house. I just, it's possible. It's possible. Especially that Savannah Guthrie did go on the Today Show with her mom in November 2025. And this looked like it was in the planning stage, maybe as early as December. The timing of that is coincidental. And in the PI business, I don't really believe in coincidences. Hey, Rita. Uh, maybe, maybe not. I still stick to my top two theories. The Savannah factor, just because she's the mother of a celebrity who would have money, whether it's in cash, cryptocurrency, whatever it's in. And number two, somebody close to her. Um, I still, I still will die on the cross. Who I think is most likely front porch guy, and if it's not him, I still 1000% believe his involvement. Um, he's been on my radar for a very long time. And let's just say that if the FBI called me today regarding my tip, I would still stick to what I've said as a possibility. Hi, Sassy Granny. Hello, Jay. That's just my typical old beat up Rally Roots hat. I wore this for chemo, my Rally Roots beanie and my Rally Roots hat that was sent to me from a reseller in Florida. Hobble one. I've seen a lot of true crime coverage of torture to PIN number methods, debit cards, etc. I hope nothing like that happened. Thank you, Elijah. Yeah, I know what you meant. It's I know it's hard to type on these little devices. Now, there is an update on this Mexico story, which, by the way, even though some of the ransom letters said be prepared to go international, and I don't know why does my nose always itch when I do this. Um, be prepared, um, be prepared to go international, and allegedly they had seen her in Mexico. I still don't really fully believe that. In fact, I just think there's a very, very teeny chance of that. Um, there's been this search team that's been searching for a grave. Somebody sent in a tip, But so far, with 2 searches, they've had no luck, but they have to have law enforcement present because Sonora, Mexico is that dangerous. Just across the border from Tucson at Nogales and Mariposa crossings, it is so dangerous that that volunteer group, they can't even go out and dig without the military or the police to protect them. That's how crappy Mexico is, people. I would suggest not going there. Um, so the search for Nancy was scheduled for Tuesday, near the Arizona border. Gosh, it feels like I got like ants crawling on my face. I think I am highly allergic to paper, and it makes me sneeze and it makes my eyes water. And when I sit at my desk, I get all like itchy. So I apologize. I noticed that on replays. Like I'm like, and it just won't go away. A search for Nancy was scheduled for Tuesday near the Arizona Mexico border, but it was postponed, according to the volunteer group leading the search. The third search for Nancy in the Mariposa area in Nogales, Sonora, led by Buscando Carazones, a volunteer group, was postponed. Mexican authorities joined Buscando Carazones on every single search they conduct, but they were not available for the June 16th search. So that's why they didn't search yesterday. The group had to postpone the search and is waiting for another date from the authorities. And they have very specific locations, that it's in a stream and it's under a specific type of tree. And every time I hear them say the name of the tree, I can't understand what they're saying. But they actually name like it's under a such and such tree, like it's under an oak tree or a pine tree. But whatever word they're saying, it's not a word I'm familiar with or that I can understand. Now, we also need to update you guys on Coral Smith, also known as Coral Michelle Smith, also known as Under the Sea Smith. She has been arrested, and as of right this moment, because I checked before I came on the air, she is incarcerated under the name Coral Michelle Smith, age 40, in the Pima County Jail. And her total bail is $250,000. Yes, and I don't think that she is involved in the case at all. Jay says, "How would she get there? You mean to Mexico?" I don't think that she did, especially on a Sunday night when, there's not that many people crossing and they'd be watching people really carefully. Hello, Suzanne. I was stuck on a train that broke down in white sand in Sonora Desert all day. Oh, no. Um, The minor, no Amber Alert. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm talking about this Michelle Coral Smith. And it turns out that her victim has now been identified, and it was not a minor. It was Rustin Lee Dodd, age 57. And supposedly Smith allegedly assaulted Rustin Lee Dodd near River and La Choya on May 29th in Tucson. Deputies said Dodd went to Smith's home and the two got into a fight. Smith allegedly assaulted Dodd and refused to let her leave her home. The Pima County Sheriff said Dodd was taken to the hospital after she became unresponsive. She died on June 1st, and the investigation is ongoing. Now, they just captured, though, this Coral Michelle Smith. 13 News reached out to both the PCSD and Pima County Attorney's Office to find out why Smith isn't facing a murder or manslaughter charge. She's not so far. The PCSD said it cannot comment on the ongoing investigation, while the Pima County Attorney's Office has not responded as of 4 p.m. Tuesday. Well, today is Wednesday. So this Coral Smith, also known as Coral Michelle Smith, also known as Coral Under the Sea or Under the Sea Smith, she is in custody. And yes, she lived near Nancy, as do all the other characters in this three ring circus. Is she a criminal? Yes. Um, Now, on this case, she hasn't been convicted of anything, but she has had past violent crimes. She is a chronic offender. She's what I call in the PI industry a lifer, someone who's always in and out of the system and will probably spend the rest of their life there. Um, Patriot Pride is supposed to go live and they're going to talk about that woman. Okay. I don't know who they are. Jay, I think I'm allergic to paper too. Had to rush home having an asthma attack one day. I was completely clogged up or closed up when I got home. Ran into the house for my inhaler and collapsed on my bed. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't have an inhaler, but it's just like it won't stop. Um, Coral 6 feet under after riding the lightning. I don't know what you mean by that. Worked at International Paper. Oh, I didn't know that. Not a good place if you're allergic to paper. This is why I could never do a desk job, people, where there's paper. It would just, well, first of all, my mind is not wired to sit at a desk. I have to be on the move. Well, until I became disabled. Now I just, I sit all day and I'm as big as a whale. Uh, and I'm not eating much. So um, I don't know what's going to happen to me, to tell you the truth. I'm just trying to survive every day. But I wanted to come back on the air and explain more about a wrench attack by proxy, update you guys on this Michelle Smith, and also say that the search for Nancy in Mexico has been, at least for the moment, temporarily postponed. I doubt it. I do agree with a lot with this private investigator, this Bill Garcia said. I agree a lot, but I don't know all the things that he knows. Oh, thank you, James, for the marshmallow. I don't think I ever received one of those. The marshmallow high. Mrs. Alaska Assassin, welcome in, my friend. Nice to see you. I love seeing my people from Alaska come in. There's not a whole bunch of you. Uh, how are you so high in the air? That's because I have a green screen of Nancy Guthrie's home where the crime occurred in the background. Jay said, I know I always worked at a desk. A paper factory is completely bigger animal. However, I am surviving, Mrs. Alaska or Alaskan Assassin. Please say hello to Mr. Alaskan Assassin. Good afternoon, SR71 girl. I just love that Lockheed Skunk avatar. That's just awesome. I still, like I said last night, I wasn't kidding. I still want to get like that hat just to have my good memories. JLE, that's amazing. Me too. You don't have one? You should. You should have all kinds of stuff from your dad. Uh, well, congratulations, JLE. I'd be nervous too, but like happy nervous. So yeah, I'm not 1,000% convinced of a wrench attack in this case. It's a possibility. Remember, everything is either around the Savannah factor or it's somebody close to her. And it was either for money or to get rid of her. But if somebody wanted to get rid of her, I think they would have just taken her out in her house because it's too difficult to carry a body. And based on the blood evidence and video evidence, I do think she was alive when she left her house. The pacemaker didn't stop sinking until much later. And, she didn't have her devices. They took her out of the house. They got so many feet away, but her heart was still beating at the time that it stopped sinking. And then that blood, which they should have paid more attention to in the original investigation, the original CSI workup, because the the front porch guy, which they didn't have pictures of yet or weren't aware of yet. Remember, he picked up the plants or the weeds and rubbed it all over the Nest camera, and he had that bite light in his mouth, which he touched, even not with his bare skin, but with his gloves. So there could have been, saliva on the gloves when he picked up the weeds and went like this over the camera, like to block the view. Um, that should have been picked up. That was in the later, then blood came and dropped on it, but a lot of that was still left behind, as was the front door, uh, the porch mat, and the frame from the Nest camera. I think they would have had more of a chance of getting maybe some saliva DNA had they taken everything from the front porch, because that's all we've got to go on. The track from her bed to the front porch. Um, Hobble one, all of the Dodens of paper factories, maybe dozens. are shut down. Okay. Uh, we're talking about Nancy Guthrie today, Hobble One. But yeah, the paper, I think that's what's causing my itching. But I didn't mean to get the train off the track here. Um, Generally, if an attack is targeted, the victim will be left in place, correct? Well, yeah, if it was an unaliving, they're not going to take a body with them, but they did take a body with them. Well, they took a living person with them, in my opinion. And they didn't take her meds, and she's 84 years old, and she had been going downhill health-wise, and she wasn't very mobile. She didn't have her meds. Apparently, she didn't even have her shoes or her hearing aids or her glasses, and her heart was like, rapidly beating at the moment that the pacemaker unsynced from the devices. Uh, you know, they should have planned this a little better if they were intending to keep her alive and show proof of life in order to get a ransom demand. And, these weren't the smartest people. These weren't the brightest bulbs in the bunch, I have to tell you. Um, why do you think she was taken? For money. She is the mother of a famous celebrity. And I see this often. I have not worked a lot of kidnapping cases, but I've worked a lot of cases. Half of my career has been in entertainment. My career started in entertainment in Beverly Hills on the night of February 24th, 1984. And to this day, I still have celebrity clients, although I'm 99.9% retired. Now, most of my celebrity work was earlier in my career, when I worked for other people. I have done it myself too with my own business, but a lot of it was when I worked for people who had a combination PI PPO license that involved not only PI work but protection and security. Does anyone know if Savannah invested in crypto? I don't know. We wouldn't know that any more than how many PIs she may or may not have hired. Um, but that's an important point. Hey, Matt. Uh, We don't know that, Mr. Mikey, but these are things that I would have looked into immediately. How much life insurance did Nancy have and who was the beneficiary? Obviously, that needs to be looked into. Were there recently any changes? Um, I agree, Lynn Broad. Porch guy seems so amateurish. Yes. Yes. Um, Considering who I know, who I believe it is, I have to agree with that completely. But once again, I don't have the access to information. Which gang uses crypto and tech the most for cybercrime? I have no idea. I'm not an expert at all in cryptocurrency or cybercrime. Olivia Maynard. No way this was about insurance, in my humble opinion. I don't know. I don't know. I do believe it's definitely more than one person involved. We know that there were at least two at the scene the night of the crime because we have front porch guy and we have whoever is parked out in that car that was picked up by that photograph. That remember, there's somebody local to Tucson. I believe she's local, and she enhanced the pictures and video of front porch guy, and she identified a vehicle that was handed over to the FBI. I don't have a copy of that picture at the moment. I wish I did. If anybody could find me a copy of that picture, send it to aprildavispi at gmail.com. I would be forever grateful because I have a picture in my phone of another vehicle to compare it to, and the wheels matched up. But I just don't have the picture that the girl blew up or a woman blew up or she highlighted it or lightened it. She did something that shows a vehicle in the background. Thank you for the flowers, Suzanne. Much appreciated, everybody. I'd love to have that picture. That's very important to me. Let's see. Oh, we have 37 people in the house. 24 thumbs up. 46. Can we get it to 50? Can we get it to 50? I might throw out some. I think I got 5 free memberships left for the month. If I can get it to 50. And speaking of the memberships, I have designed more emojis, but right now, because I have so few channel members, YouTube only allows me to have the 4. And I did update one of them. I had to do some fixings on the artwork. Remember, I'm not a creative, people. This is hard for me. But I could, if I get 3 more members, I believe paid members. I don't know, free membership counts, probably not. But if I get 3 more paid members, then I can add up to 9 custom emojis that the members will be able to use, like when they're participating in the chat. Um, if you're not a member, you have access to the YouTube emojis that are provided by YouTube. But if you want to have access to the custom emojis, you must become a member. Does anyone know what happened to Juice when he went to court? I haven't heard any updates on that. I didn't know that he had already gone to court. Oh, was that today? Today's the 17th. Oh, thank you for mentioning that. No, I don't know. That's a good question. I totally forgot it was today. Um, Getting away with murder is hard. This seems planned. Whatever happened was completely planned. And I believe a couple of months at least in advance this was planned. And if it does turn out that it was done for money because of her connection to Savannah, I don't want Savannah to feel bad about this because these things happen. Opportunist or accomplice Bitcoin arrestee. Don't know. But there is a group involved in this. Now, what I don't know, but I've always suspected, is there somebody else behind it who is the puppet master in this? And then there were the worker bees that actually went to the house and did the deed. And I don't think they were very prepared as far as how to conduct a kidnapping and keep somebody alive, like in a business proposition. Because they did a crappy job of that. I mean, I could be wrong, and she could be sitting in somebody's basement watching Days of Our Lives eating TV dinners every night, but I doubt it. And I don't believe that somebody ran down to Mexico and got her prescriptions. I just don't believe that. And if it's true that she didn't take her meds when she came home that night from Tommaso and Annie's, that's a huge red flag. Um, Dave, maybe a high school friend that is covering up something from back in high school days. I doubt it. I believe there's a leader and minion, says Suzanne. I think so too. The time frame on the heart monitor and camera footage seemed very significant. Absolutely, because it tells the story that they were there at least 41 minutes. I think she was in a seniors investment club in Arizona that recommended crypto. The member list was hacked, thus leading to so many attacks. Possibly. Remember, we don't have the financials here. I don't know how much she had in her checking account. Does she even have a savings account? Pensions? Um, who knows what this woman was worth? But she is the mother of a celebrity who's worth millions. Savannah brings in at least 8 million a year. I wouldn't be surprised if Savannah Guthrie is worth 40 to 50 million dollars, not including her husband's income and what they may have invested in over the years. I don't think she's a spendthrift who's out, blowing her money in casinos or drugs, or I just don't picture that. I think she and the kids and even her grandkids are probably set up for life. And did she support her siblings? No, and she shouldn't. I mean, I could be wrong. I still don't know how the sister and the brother-in-law were able to afford that big house on a poet's salary and a teacher who's not working. Lori Smith. I saw it on the computer first pop up. Let me scroll down. Thank you so much. Let me give you a heart. Thank you, Lori. Everybody give Lori Smith a thumbs up on the first super chat of the day. And that really helps because my June income is just barely enough to make this worth it anymore. I don't know why. I've got more viewers than I've ever had, more subs than I've ever had, more watch hours than I've ever had, and the income is going down on the channel. Uh, let's see. I'm not sure what you mean, Lynn. I know I read this before. Opportunist or accomplice Bitcoin arrestee. I don't know what that means. Oh, hi, Kathy. I didn't see you come in. Yeah, Kathy, you probably missed the announcement. I changed. I made a little bit of changes to the artwork on the 4 emojis. If I can get 3 more members, then I'll have access to 9. So if Kathy, if you would like to type those emojis in the chat so people can see the first 4 that you would get that are the custom ones in addition to the YouTube ones. Um, that would be the last picture show. Oh, is that a movie? That's like, I think it's before my time, but I do know that movie. Um, I haven't seen or talked to high school friends in over 35 years. Most of the people I went to high school with, I graduated early, so I was never had like a ceremony or reunions because I graduated early and we moved to Washington D.C. area, and then at 18 I came home. So I haven't seen any of my high school friends since I was like 17, and I'm old as dirt. David. Yeah, I got to be careful what I say about Days of Our Lives because I have a really good friend that's a big star on that show. If her favorite show is Days of Our Lives, have one of the characters tell her to call. I gotta be careful. I've done a lot of work for people on Days of Our Lives, and I have friends on Days of Our Lives. So, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I can't see Nancy or Savannah spending a lot of money. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they're, sitting in the casinos like some other people that we've heard about, which may or may not be true. There's at least 2 of the yahoos in this case that we've heard, uh, have gone to casinos and betting on sports games. Oh, thank you, Kathy, for putting up the emojis. Do you notice I had to change the bunny one, and I wasn't sure if I should do it because the other bunny one looks more like her, but it had like a white highlight around it, and I couldn't get it removed. And I always, the reason I saved her in that shelter, well, because she was going to die. That was the number one reason. But I picked her out of, she was rabbit 8 out of 8. I picked her because of her ears. In this picture, when I saw that emoji with the ears, I was like, oh my God, that's totally her. But I have already 5 more made. If we reach 50. Now, I don't think they're going to do this if I gift anybody. So if I can get 3 more paid members, that might open the lock for the next 5 emojis so I can have a total of 9. And if you guys want to recommend an emoji that you think I should have, me being a Hollywood PI, let me know. NG had a big jewelry connection through family. Okay, I haven't heard that. Oh, Jay, I didn't see that. Thank you, my friend. Everybody give Jay a thumbs up on her super chat. Second super chat of the day. Granny T says Victor Kirikas couldn't find her or could find her. Who is Victor Kirikas or Caracas? Who is that? Uh, I don't know about that case, Lori. Sorry, off topic, but they found missing Elena Moore. Oh, I don't know that case. I'm sure my cousin would. She's in South Carolina. Julie, I watched Days for 45 years. Started to watch it with my mom. Days of Our Lives is the only local LA soap that I really don't watch, but yet I have more connections to Days of Our Lives than any other soap. I mean, I have General Hospital connections, Young and the Restless connections. Um, I've met people from the old Capitol, Bold and the Beautiful, but my biggest connections, both friendship wise, personal wise, and business wise, is to the cast of Days of Our Lives. I mean, it's like me and Friends, and I only ever seen one of the main Friends cast members, but I know about 20 people, including some of the biggest stars in Hollywood that have been on that show. But yeah, I have a lot of connections to Days of Our Lives. And, I just make a joke about that because remember, like in 9 to 5, when they kidnapped the boss and they've got him chained up and, they're making him his TV dinners every night and he'd be sitting in his I think his bedroom or a guest bedroom watching Days of Our Lives. I just don't think that that's the case with Nancy. Lynn Broad, Derek Colella, opportunist or accomplice? Could be either one. I mean, he is connected to the characters in this soap opera or three-ring circus. If you see my suspect video, although it's quite old, on the video tab, you'll see his connection and how he could possibly fit in. Uh, Good luck. It seems no one can afford a membership. Yeah. Mm, let's see. Okay, Doug, I haven't seen you before. Welcome in. Do you think Nanos is involved? If not, why do you think he is way targeted the YouTube journalists? Those are both good questions. I wouldn't think that the sheriff would be involved, but he sure has done everything he can to F up the case from day one. Supposedly he's close friends with Tomato. Could be a rumor, could be false. He's not even speaking to the Guthrie family anymore, as he proclaims. Somebody's putting pressure on him to get the YouTubers out of the neighborhood. Oh, Kirikis is from Days of Our Lives. See, I don't even know that. Victor character on Days of Our Lives. Okay. Oh, you know what, Granny T? If that I didn't know that was his character name, but that guy, Jennifer Aniston's father, don't like the guy. I was driving on the street where my mailbox is, heading into Sherman Oaks. My business box had been in Sherman Oaks for years, and a lot of people get injured or killed on that street. And this person, this maniac, came up behind me in a BMW sedan and tried to run me off the road. And I was going probably the speed limit or maybe even a little more because I'm not like a granny driver, but I'm very careful because of, I'm always on the road, or I used to be as a PI. So I do respect the laws and the people that enforce the laws. And a lot of people get injured or killed on that street. But this guy I could see him in the rearview mirror, like coming out of nowhere. And I looked at the driver like, what the F? What are you doing? Like, it was a maniac. And it was Jennifer Aniston's dad. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's Jennifer Aniston's dad. The next day, there was a restaurant that used to have like this Chicago dogs. I can't remember the name, but it was in like a convenience store where they had a convenience store and a restaurant. And it was very popular in Sherman Oaks. And I walked in there. Guess who comes up and sits at the table next to me? Jennifer Aniston's dad. And I just stared him down, and he looked at me like, "What?" And I wanted to walk up to him like, "Yeah, you're the guy that tried to run me off the road yesterday, you asshat." But I didn't because I thought, maybe he's got dementia. Same thing happened on the freeway on the 405, and it was astronaut Buzz Aldrin. Almost caused a 20 to 30 car pileup. Very, very scary. Um, but yeah, I know who he is. Sorry, Jennifer Aniston, if you happen to be watching. I doubt it. But your dad drives like an a-hole. John Aniston, that would be him. Um, Intentionally tried to run me off the road. I've never met him before. Um, Hobble one. Nanos is politically compromised. Yes, he is. Journalists will solve the case before him. I think so. Lynn Broad, why is he not speaking to Guthrie? What's his explanation? There is no explanation. Another reason to get rid of him. Biggest case of his life, and he's no longer speaking to the family. Now, it could be that they've decided that they're not speaking to him, which is probably more like it, like, we're done with you. Jennifer doesn't like him either. They were estranged for decades. Oh, I thought that was about her and her mom. Like, there's something wrong with that guy, you know? Now he was an older guy when that happened, but still. Um, Nanos is hiding his political motivations. I named my son Donald Carey after Dr. Horton on days. I could just we could dedicate a whole video to all the work I've done for people on days and all the people I know. And a very good friend of mine is on days right now, but I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah, he is a TV actor, but hasn't he died? Is he dead? Does anybody know that? Is he dead? May you rest in peace. Uh, I think it is a paid person involved. YouTubers getting too close to the truth. Who is a paid person involved? John Aniston is now deceased. I thought so. Who is allegedly being paid by someone? Nanos? Alex and 8572 son were arrested recently while live at Nancy's, I hear. Yes. Well, actually, Alex, the first arrest was at home. 8572 son and DeJuice got like citations. In fact, DeJuice was supposed to be in court today, but then Alex defied the order, came back. I have a video on it. Just click my video tab and you'll see it. But that was the second time where it got very violent. And, even though I think the cops were overly aggressive, you still don't resist arrest and call an officer a faggot. That's uncalled for, Alex. He's not my favorite YouTuber. Um, yeah, I agree. Sheriff has a duty regardless. You're right. Family likely cut off ties. I think so. He does have a duty. You're on the set of The Candidate. I've not seen that. I've actually, you know what? I'm not an actor, but I've actually been in a couple movies. And my friend that died in 2022, she was really famous, especially in Canada, not so much here. The only show she did here was like the Weather Channel for 4 years, and but that was big 'cause she had her own show and she was a broadcaster. And also she was on radio here too, but she was more famous in Canada, and she never knew that I have been in 2 movies. I'm in the pilot of, Tori and Dean, and I'm serious. I am in that pilot. I've also been on TMZ before, uh, over at Tequila's house. I've been in the pilot of Tori and Dean, for real, and I just saw it, like, probably within the last year because I didn't have I think it was on the Oxygen channel or network or something, and I also had an offer for a TV show by the Nashville network, and out of 1,000, like, women PIs across the country, they chose me, and I turned it down. Uh, yeah, so, um, I challenge anybody to find the 2 movies that I've actually been in. I'll give you a clue, it was in the '80s. Um, yes, he died a couple years ago. Well, rest in peace. I hope he doesn't have access to a vehicle on the other side. 11/11/22. Ooh, that was a bad time for me. That was less than a month after one of my besties passed away. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't hear about it. Alex acted like an idiot. Yeah, he usually does. I'm sorry if you guys are, I'm sorry. He just does. Um, Julie Camarina, it's been a long day. Man, time flies. Duty to keep his mouth shut. Well, he should be talking to the family if we're talking about, Nanos, or are we talking about Alex? A duty to keep his mouth shut. Um, Billy Corrigan famously claimed Tila Tequila was a shape-shifting alien. You know what? I've actually met her, and me and my Thai family actually had access, and, they were able to live in her house for a week and a half. I can't explain any of this, but I have been there multiple times. My family, we had the house, and that whole week I was working a huge surveillance up in Ventura, California. That even though I had a lot of people helping me over the days that I couldn't be up there, I was like, "This is the week I have to be in Ventura, and we have Tila's house." And she had a real big like hot tub in her bathroom, but I had one in my bathroom too. So it's like I should have just, hired one of my subs to go up and take some of my shifts and then brought a sleeping bag over, but then my cats would have freaked out if I didn't stay home for the night, so but no, I've not heard that about, what Billy Corrigan said about Tila Tequila. Uh, "You are done eating. What did you have, Kathy?" True character of a narcissist. Who? Nanos? Uh, The Lost Boys. I haven't seen that in a while. No, I did not, but I did play that on like a girls softball league, like, as a child in Little League when they finally had a girls' Little League, but it was the last year for me to qualify, and then at the end of the season when we won the championship and I was the top player, um, they gave me a retirement certificate, so I only got to play for a year. Oh, thank you, Granny, for the flower. Not Alex, the other one. Halloween 3, that's the only I've seen Halloween, Halloween 2, 4, 5. I skipped 6. I also skipped 3 because it had nothing to do with the story. I saw 7 in the movie theater where it was standing room only. Um, I've seen 8. I saw 9 in the theater where a viewer brought in a duck. There was a duck in the audience. And I've seen 10 because Margot Kidder, who I used to be a huge fan of, back in like the 70s, she was in 10, but that was horrible. And there was 3 that have come out since then, and I've seen 2. I did not see the last one because the timing was just around a lot of bad things that were happening in my life, and I didn't see the last one. But I did not see 3. Suzanne says, "You've got personality and you're down to earth." I hope so, because I'm certainly not a creative type, and that's why I suck at YouTube. Um, Jay does not like horror movies. I didn't see The Swarm. Kathy had chicken Alfredo with broccoli. Another reason that I want to live at Kathy's house. You have a washer and a dryer, and you eat good food. And I bet you have cheap rent compared to LA. I subscribe, so I do not agree with the suck theory. Well, I've been doing this for 5 years and 5 months. In fact, in another, 10 days, it'll be 5 years and 6 months, and I have not made enough to break even. And I just recently got remonetized. And now my views and my nose is itching so bad because I have this paper in front of me. I got to get rid of it. Oh my God. Here's a pharmacy receipt. Got to get rid of it. Now I have my baseball mail here too, but I don't want to throw it because there's gifts inside. I don't want my Fenway Park dirt to explode. $15.95 a month. Oh God. Ah, nothing. Now, can you imagine if you split that 2 ways, Kathy? Oh my God. Um, did you subscribe today, Granny, or you were already subscribed? How many people are subscribed today? I'm up to 3377. When I went from 2K to 3K rather quickly, I then thought that the momentum would keep going and I would get from 3K to 4K quickly, and that hasn't happened at all. But yet my viewers are up, my watch hours are up, which mean nothing now since I'm already monetized, and my financial, like the money coming in, has gone significantly down. I ate with daughter at Logan Steakhouse today. Mmm. I haven't had steak in years, but I love steak. I stopped meat after cancer, and then 2 years later, I started up chicken again, and then eventually reintroduced turkey. Still costs $50. Yeah, that bag of groceries. I was trying to save money yesterday. I don't know if you were here, Jay, on the way home from the doctor. I thought, I'm not going to go pick up the chicken wings at the restaurant because it'll cost too much. So I walked into my local grocery store and one bag, and then this little like 8-pack of Canada Dry, which wasn't in the bag, cost me $49.50. For that, I could have gone to a restaurant twice. Uh, Hobble one. Turner and Hooch crew made my mom get a motel because her landlord let film crew use her apartment in the film. Oh, where was that? I remember. I saw that movie. Tom Hanks. Oh, Susan M. Susan M. from Massachusetts, right? Because we have, Sassy Granny, Susan or Sue from New York. We have Sue Brock Schmidt, who was here yesterday, from Michigan. Message deleted. What does that mean? Message deleted by @aprildavispi. Nothing's been deleted on this today. What does that mean? Thank you for the $2. Why does it say message deleted? I have not deleted anything. That's weird. I hearted it. Now, how do I get this back? Can somebody, does my message deleted? What does that mean? How did that happen? Okay, if you're still here, Susan M., it says that the super chat, the message got deleted. There's definitely issues with YouTube. How the heck do I get it back? I just hearted it. And then people started doing the thumbs up and it deleted. Oh, does anybody know how I can fix that? That's never happened before. Susan, I am sorry. I don't know how that deleted. It says message deleted by April Davis PI. I have, at the beginning, I timed somebody out, but that was like almost an hour ago. Yesterday, my afternoon show got cut off and then YouTube removed the monetization. So I did that video for nothing. Peggy. Hey, April. How are you? Phoenix, Arizona here. Oh, hello, Peggy. Susan M., I don't know what happened. It just says that your message was deleted. Granny's in Illinois. Yeah, we got Sassy Granny in New York and we got Granny T in Illinois. A user deleted their chat comment. Yeah, but how did the super chat delete? I can still see it on my screen. It's a blue super chat from Susan M 4371 for $2, and I hearted it. And as people were hitting the thumbs up, it says that I deleted it. There's no way for me to do that. I can't delete a super chat. I can time somebody out, but I can't delete a super chat. That's so weird. No, it says that I did it, but I didn't do it. You didn't do it. You wouldn't have access to do it unless you were a mod. And I don't have any mods in the chat. It says that I did it. You know what? After I hearted it and I told you guys, everybody give Susan M the thumbs up, I tried to do it on my screen and I tapped it and then it changed and it said that it was deleted. I apologize, Susan. Hopefully it's still there. This is a YouTube issue. I'm telling you, yesterday I talked for 2 hours for what was supposed to be a 30-minute video, and late last night when I was putting the descriptions into the videos, because I did 2 videos yesterday, one on Jetpack Man and one on Nancy Guthrie, it said that the first video wasn't monetized. And most people don't watch the lives later. They watch the lives during the lives. And you don't get as much money as if somebody did watch them later. But I'm like, okay, that was for nothing. There's a couple of bucks down the drain. And someone sent me a super chat on that. I don't even know if I'll have access to it now. And then the video cut off, and all of a sudden I get the red or the white spinning wheel on the screen that says reconnecting. And I'm like, what? And I look up and there's like, 10 people in the room and it's like dropping out. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm talking to myself, talking to the air for nothing. Um, there's nobody here. Um, so YouTube, fix yourself. The money's still there. Don't have a clue, Jay. Uh, oh, you didn't have a comment. Okay. You just sent the $2 super chat. But now there is a comment on there that says, message deleted by April Davis PI. And I'm like, huh? I was trying to hit there's a little thumbs up button on the bottom of the super chats. If we can scroll all the way back, or someone can send me another, even if it's just 99 cents, you can see that there's a thumbs up button. And I tried to hit it on the screen, and then it says delete it. Oh, no, internet's fine. That's a good question, though, Lori Shortlegs, but no, it's fine because I got my internet box right next to me. I can see it. Now, I'm wondering if yesterday, if there was like an outage, like here in Los Angeles with Spectrum for just like a couple of seconds, and then it just like it cut. Mm. You get thrown out for nothing sometimes. Not by me. Is it AI? Is what AI? Yeah, you know what? When I close out the video too, because usually I'll get several hundred to several thousand people that'll come in, not all at the same time. But if I go for more than an hour, especially like on a weekend, it might be 3,000-4,000 people that have come in during the video. And when I go to turn it off, there's like a little box that pops up, and it tells me how many people watched, how much I earned in super chats. Of course, that's before fees. Um, it doesn't tell me the joules, so there's no way for me to ever count how many joules I got. Right now, I have 80 cents worth. Uh, but it'll say, "Oh, you had 44 views," and I'm like, "What?" Like I had at least 1,000 people that came in over the, and then it'll tell you like how many people came in the chat, but it'll say you had 44. I'm like, what? And then I go to my YouTube studio and it's like you had 1,200 views, and I'm like, well, how come it says I had 44 or 88 or 56 or like? So they're having issues this week. They never had issues before when I wasn't monetized. The day I got monetized, boom, that week all the issues started. Every view pays. It should. But no, it's not my internet. Where are you located, Julie? Are you in LA? I have Spectrum 2 was having issues like this AM. I think that's only ever happened once, where all of a sudden it pops up on my screen where it says reconnecting. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know I was down. And people were still able to send me messages. But then I said, can somebody send me a message? And only one person did. So maybe some people could still see me. But when I did the playback last night, the whole end of the video, probably the last 20 or 30 minutes, is just gone. And then when I went to YouTube Studio late last night, even though I should have been in bed to put the descriptions in and all the links and everything, it said that video wasn't being monetized. I'm like, what? That's when all my views come, either during the video or right after the video. It wasn't monetized. And will I get paid for the super chat? I hope. Hopefully this one that Susan M coughed up is still there. I cannot explain why it deleted on the screen. Um, Oh, you just said hi on the message. Yeah. Well, it's the message is deleted. Maybe you guys can still see the super chat, but you can't see the hi. And there's no thumbs up anymore to thumbs up it. How do I delete a message on a super chat? There's no way to bring it back. No matter what I click. I am so sorry, Susan. It was not intentional. No, you're not. It's not you, Susan. It's YouTube. Hopefully the super chat is still there. Hubble one says, my YouTube has been doing weird stuff this past week. How about you? Completely weird. Getting cut off, uh, getting demonetized, or not demonetized, but saying that the video yesterday that I turned the button on, it wasn't, now it says it wasn't turned on, but it was. My goal just ran out. I'll start one of those gift goals. Frustrating. And then somebody came in a few days ago and they're like, I'm trying to send you a super chat, but it won't let me because your goal expired. And I'm like, well, that shouldn't make the difference. You should still be able to send them. You're from Yuma, Arizona. I bet that's a hot one right now. Okay, so you still see it there, but apparently the message part where she said hi, that got deleted by me tapping the thumbs up button. I was like, what? You lived in Tucson for 18 years. Wow, are you familiar with the Catalina foothills? I have a couple people that come in from Tucson. Although the lady that we met here who lives in Nancy's neighborhood, who knows Savannah, I haven't seen her in a long time. Strange thing, says Doug Dillinger, or Dillner. Sorry about that, Doug. Doug Dillner. Where are you coming in from, Doug? I haven't seen you until today. Yeah, that really sucks. You know, the guy just came home from the doctor. I hadn't had much sleep. I hadn't had anything to eat. And I worked so hard on that video yesterday, and it was all for nothing. And then I didn't even know that when I came back on the air last night that the first video had no monetization and had cut off. Oh, now I do have to use the timeout button. Goodbye. It's amazing how these people, they hate me, but they come to see me every single day. It's actually around the same as Palm Springs. It is hot today. I went out earlier and it was hot. Ugh. You know, my old buddy, and I haven't known him personally, but we've done some shows together. Perez Hilton, whether you love him or you hate him, I just he made an announcement today that he has moved his entire family out of Las Vegas into Miami. I was shocked. I was shocked when he, moved back to LA and then went to Vegas. And I'm like, he'll never survive there. And it's taken him 3.5 years to figure it out that that was a bad move, even though he still claims that he loves Las Vegas. And he told his mom, like, we're going to Miami. And I guess she's thrilled because that's where her whole family is. Um, she spends so much of her summers and vacations over there. But now his sister, she's stuck here in LA. She's his number one employee. And I was shocked. Like, Perez, I didn't see that coming. Yes, your husband had a lot of work in the foothills. Wow. You have to contact YouTube and they will send you the reason. Yeah, I wouldn't waste my time on something that small, though. As long as you guys can still see the super chat, then I guess it's still there. But the message that was contained within the super chat that was a hi, for some reason, that's been deleted. Not timed out, deleted. And when I try to undelete it, it asks me, do I want to put the user in timeout? Never. Hide this user on this channel? Never. Add as a moderator? No, because as I've said before, I'm not adding any moderators, probably ever. I'll be sticking with the two that I already have, and they're hardly ever here. Which is probably why I'm just leaving them on because I'm gonna have to learn to do this on my own. Wavy gravy. Uh-oh. You know what? I see trouble coming. There it is. Same people, all the haters, but they come see me like every single day, every single video. And a lot of the mods probably if I assign more mods, they wouldn't know who some of these yahoos are, and then they would say, "Hi, how you doing? Welcome in." And I don't want anybody to even speak to those people. Thank you, Jane. This is my Minnesota Twins shirt, and yeah, the baseball mail has still been stagnant. The most recent envelope was from the Tampa Bay Rays. That's it. I'm new from Kansas. I'm blind, so be patient with my typing. Meant to say strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Oh, that's interesting. You mean the Circle K in Tucson? Julie says, "LOL, gotta love though." Hey, it's clicks, it's views. I only have ever blocked one person in the entire 5 years and almost 6 months that I've been on YouTube, and that was a woman who I believe was sending me um, hateful messages from a mental institution. And don't ask me how I knew that. And I was like, no, no, they could easily just get a new username. How are you typing? Are you doing it by voice? Or are you just saying, facetiously that you're blind? Like, haha, I'm blind. I can't. I've had 4 eye surgeries. I get it. My mother was blind in one eye. So, yeah. A line from Bill and Ted's. Oh, okay. I haven't seen Bill and Ted's. I was like, how are you typing that if you're blind, dude? uh, so, yeah, the train went off the track as soon as we lost Susan M's message on her super chat. Shame on you, YouTube. And she's one of my favorite people here. I mean, I love all of you, but, my Susans are my favorite people. Jay says, almost legally blind and over 50% deaf. Yeah, I know. Well, my heart is with you, Jay. Yeah, anybody here? I know this is off topic, but does anybody here have any suggestions or recommendations for some custom emojis that I can make? Because I've already started working on some today, but YouTube tells me that I don't have enough members to access them yet. But at least I have them designed, so they are in the making. Is what it is. Mumps at 3 years old. Oh, okay. Emma, what do you think of the Iowa guy? I think he needs question about Nancy, just my opinion. Who is the Iowa guy? I haven't heard anything about an Iowa person of interest. Oh, Yellow Hearts. Ivan Miller. No, I need 3 more members, uh, where somebody has a paid membership in order for YouTube to get me to the next level. Because when you first get monetized, they give you 4 I can pick 4 custom emojis, and I have Kathy showed you guys earlier, the detective, the bunny, the kitty, they look just like the bunny and the kitty, and, the happy face. Uh, but I can have up to 9 if I get 3 more members. So I always subscribers are great because it shows YouTube that people are watching, so they'll push out the algorithm. But no, I need 3 more memberships and able to give you guys that are the members the access to the emojis. Hey, Brian. Yeah, we always need subscribers. I don't get paid for subscribers, but the more I get, the more viewers I'll get. At least we hope. Yellow hearts. That's a good one, a yellow heart, especially for Nancy. But I think there's already yellow hearts in the YouTube emojis, in the free ones. Uh, oh, okay. He is the guy from Iowa that killed 3 women in Utah, has since been arrested. What's he doing now if he killed 3 women in Utah? Go look at his mugshot and compare to the perp. There are similarities. I don't even know who an Iowa guy is. He's not on my radar. But thanks for the information. I'll look that guy up. Let me scroll back to see the name again. Oh, I lost the name in the chat, I think. Let's see. Oh, Ivan Miller. Yeah, I don't know who that is. You need to talk in other chats, true crime communities. I have a few. I'm not big enough yet to go and collaborate and, be in people's videos or to bring people into mine. And this is not a true crime channel, believe it or not. This is an about my life post cancer channel. One Take Adventures, hello. I just happen to be, bringing more people in because I've been talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. But that is a good suggestion. It's just laughing at some of these things that have come in today. Mab investigates. Don't know who that is. Remember, there's only so many hours in the day. It's taken all my time just to get this thing going. But I am friends with the Juice now. Hopefully, he had a good day in court today for um, his court date. Yeah, he's one of the good guys, just from what I've seen of him thus far. I don't know, Doug. Did you see my post answering how I type? Apparently, I forgot to turn off my notifications, and somebody's commenting on something, and it keeps popping up across my screen. So I have turned that off for now. Oh, I forgot to mention a new viewer came in recently, and she bought something from the gift shop last night. The wish list. the Amazon wish list, and I will show it to my audience as soon as I have it. I do have to get over there to pick up the most recent gift card that was sent, but I don't go there like every day or every other day, usually like once a week. So I'll give it a few more days so her item can get there, and then I'll be able to show it all at once. Yeah, I really don't have time, Lori, between my, trying to stay alive and all the doctor stuff on my plate, my medical stuff, and doing this YouTube channel. There's just barely enough time for me to get a few hours sleep every night. But I've heard of that person. Don't watch them though. I did watch one YouTuber last night that somebody well, I did a video where somebody came into my comments and said something about the PI that's been in Tucson. So I came on the air. And then afterwards I did, late at night. In fact, I watched a little bit more of that today before I came on the air. I cannot oh, she's asking Lori. Yeah, you guys can talk amongst yourselves, but I can't say. But I got a pretty good idea what's going on here. I could be totally wrong though, because I don't have access to the information that the sheriff's department or the FBI has, or even the family, but I think I'm right on mark as far as my information that I provided to the FBI. Now, whether they choose to listen to that or not, I have no idea. Because I see, in my career as a PI, I'll see law enforcement where they're like on a big case that I'm on, but I'm on it for a civil purpose and they're on it for a criminal purpose. And they'll be on the right track at some point, and then the train gets off the track, and then they're like, oh, we already thought about that, and that wasn't the case. And it's like, but that is the case, and I can prove it. And then I solved their homicide, and I'm not on their payroll. So that always pissed me off. Like, I should get something for solving their cases. Um, are they getting closer? I hope so, Mimi. I wish I could say too. I may not even be able to say if an arrest is made because it's not a done deal until somebody's convicted and sentenced and imprisoned. What happened? Just came in. Oh, I just went over like some of the updates for today. I heard they might have caught the doorman. You mean front porch guy? Nobody's been arrested. Like I said, since this case happened February 1st, I heard about it the night of February 1st, and she was listed as a missing person. By February 3rd, the ransom notes started coming into TMZ. And somewhere between the 13th, 14th to 15th, I'm not sure because when I changed my phone, some of my texts had disappeared. But by that week, by the second week of February, I had it pieced together. Okay, I know who you're talking about. No, we talked about this Coral Under the Sea Smith or Coral Michelle Smith. We talked about the 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 alleged gravesite in Mexico, which I'm not really keen on that. And something else. What was it? I threw the paper behind me because it was making me itch. See last night's video, Donna. According to the internet, the case is now considered a homicide with no body. Yeah, pretty much. But it's still a prosecutable case, even without a body. Yeah, the longer this goes, the less and less chance of having a body. I don't know, Julie. She says, I'm sure DC is singing like a bird. I have no idea. But when you have a group involved in something and somebody gets arrested, that's generally how it works. although he has not been arrested for the kidnapping. He's only facing federal charges for sending text ransoms. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. See my suspect video. It's under the video tab. But no, I cannot come on a public YouTube channel and lay out the case. This case is still being investigated. I can't make a video about what really happened in the JonBenet Ramsey case. I did make a video recently, though. I did a live, which quite a few people have watched, regarding the death of Linda Hoffman Pugh. Uh, Donna, there's another Donna in here. Donna Machio. This case is too long. They should have found something already. Well, yeah. But remember, by the time the FBI got there, the physical evidence had already been compromised, as had the crime scene. And that's on Nanos, everybody. That's why he should be removed. If for no other reason, that's why he should be removed. He has failed as a leader of his own department. And I know he wasn't the one out there with the CSI guys, but you are the leader. When something goes wrong underneath you, you're responsible. Yeah, I didn't even know who that was, Emma. I'll check him out. Ivan Miller. But based on what I know, even though I don't even know who that is, I just don't think that's the case. But I'll look into it. It always helps to hear, information from the audience. That's why I'm here. We're all in this together. This is not just about me. I have no ego here. I want everybody to, comment and talk to each other as long as everybody remains respectful to each other. I had a few videos that went off the rails because there was shenanigans in the chat. That's why I don't have mods anymore, except for the ones that I've had for like years and years and years. And my mods have all been good to me, but you know, this is April Davis PI. So, and here I am, April Davis PI. I'm the one in charge. So, but you guys, as long as there's no politics, religion, or fighting within the chat, everybody is welcome here. But everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And I'll just have to play it by ear as far as when an arrest comes down. And I do think there will be an arrest in this case. This is too high profile for there not to be an arrest. But that's why they got to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. And they got to be absolutely effing sure before they drop that first hammer. And then the rest of the dominoes will fall, I guarantee. But then we're still going to have to be careful about what we say because this is a group. So if, in the next 5 minutes, one person gets arrested, it's not necessarily that the case is solved and it's over and done with. Because everybody deserves a fair trial. Same reason I can't comment on the Ramsey case. It's an open investigation. Lori, I think it was a bit much to break into Carlos's house when all they had to do was ring the bell. They were trying to find a cell phone ping. Well, Carlos and his family are represented by a civil attorney. I think about his mother-in-law's other son, her actual bio son, who was sitting at the computer, playing video games with the headset, and all of a sudden he's just like, you know, ripped out of his chair after somebody like the battering ram like through the front door now. I could just picture that. Like, poor guy, like, what happened? If they are monitoring someone, do you think they could have gotten a warrant to bug a house or a car or a phone? I probably shouldn't comment on that, but um, a phone possibly, a house or a car, I doubt it. Wiretap, you mean? I know what you mean. The government's always listening, so it's not impossible. But it would be more like surveillance, whether that be digital surveillance, electronic surveillance, or actual physical surveillance of the suspect and the people around that suspect in homes and businesses around that suspect. And I think AI could actually help. And the reason why is because this is such a high profile case. They have over 50,000 tips, and they have not just the DNA evidence, but they have, cell phone pings to go through, cell tower information to go through, um, actual physical cell phone records to go through, cameras to go through, LPR readers to go through. There's so much. Different vehicles, different plates, and how all these things could tie together to the same event, because that's a lot of data to put together. But we're dealing with nanos, and we're dealing with an FBI that's led by Cash Patel. That could be problematic. But I have more faith in them than I have in the Pima County Sheriffs. I have no faith, zero, zip, nada, in the Sheriff's Department. Lori says to Emma, that's very possible. I think that's who they are looking at. I lean towards one of Tom's old bandmates, but I feel the person ran to Mexico with Nancy. You know what? That's very possible, but I'm not high on the Mexico theory for many reasons. I think she'll be found closer to home, or at least in Arizona, if she's even found. And that's the problem with the case that goes this long. That even once they get a suspect, that still is not going to be a guarantee of a body. Unless it's just this huge group and the first guy can sing like a bird and the dominoes can start falling and that person can lead them to a body. I bet tips go to Pima County sheriffs go in one ear and out the other. Yeah, a while back, many months ago, they were saying they weren't even taking any tips anymore. They had closed their hotlines. Like, what? And the FBI, it's not much better calling them because they don't want to talk to you. So, an FBI agent that I know who's retired said you might have a better shot at it to write a letter. That ended up being a 8-page dossier. But will they open their eyes? Remember, in my line of work, we get called in sometimes after the police and after the FBI when they've been unable to do things. Or sometimes we come in because the police or the FBI are unable to help. They're unable to get involved. So as a PI, we do a lot of preventative stuff as well. we don't just investigate crimes, but we prevent things from happening by gathering information. Yeah, Sheriff Nanos has got to go, and of course the FBI they're going to blame it on Cash Patel has already blamed the delay in solving this on Nanos delaying them. They weren't able to come in until 4 days later, so I think they came in on February the 5th, and that was too late. The crime scene had already been trampled. And I don't want to think that this case hedges on a single rootless hair, and that's all we have left to go on, because that's really bad if that's all they've got. Nanos should go for not allowing EquiSearch in, or EcoSearch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, they never searched for her. I mean, they had the Border Patrol dogs the first night, but they couldn't hit on a scent. But that's because she was put in a car and driven away. I'm positive. And if anybody here can help me find that picture, remember that there was a woman local in Tucson who did something with the porch guy video, and she was able to highlight it or brighten it or lighten it or something. And there was a shape of a car that local dealerships identified as a Dodge. Uh, I need to have that picture because I have the other picture in my phone of the car that the wheels that it matches to. Oh, it's easy to get a rootless hair. Sometimes if your hair cracks off, the root's not with it. But it's harder to get a DNA match with a rootless hair, especially when you send it to the wrong lab who doesn't have that technical ability to process something like that. I, your wish or your guess is as good as mine, Suzanne. I wonder why the reasons are they don't have search parties. You have her name. Oh, good. Yeah, I need the picture, Julie, at aprildavispi@gmail.com. That picture that was blown up, because in that picture, I'm able to see the wheel of the car. I can't even tell if it's the front wheel or the back wheel because I can't tell which way the car is facing because I couldn't see it as well as some other people could see it, but I could see the wheel. And I recognized it right away. I'm like, I've seen that before. I know whose wheel that is or what type of car that is. But only by the wheel was I able to identify it. But I can't find that picture. And it's weird because I have the other picture of my phone because I went and I researched that and I saved that picture, but for some reason the picture that was released, that was maybe a month or so ago on this case. I don't even know. It's day number 137. I'd love to have a copy of that picture. Because if I'm right about that, then I know the getaway driver. And that getaway driver, I know for a fact. I mean, I'm 100% sure that the the I know that if the getaway driver, if he's the one that's the driver, he's definitely connected to the guy that I suspect is front porch guy. There's a connection, and it's already been proven. Now, if those two are correct, the question is, were they doing this on their own, or were they doing this with a larger group of people? Because minimum involved here is two, but I think the number's probably higher than two. It looked like a Ford or a Chevy. They said it was a Dodge, but I couldn't see the car. I could just see the wheel. Emerald eyes. Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, if you can shoot me that photo of that it's a picture of front porch guy, but and he kind of turns because he looks back towards the driver. but there's an image of a vehicle in the back. And this lady was able to somehow recreate the picture somehow on a computer, and the FBI was contacted, and they came out and they met with her and they got a copy of it. Yeah, I know about that Dodge Charger too. And there's another guy that's been mentioned in one of my videos who also drives a Charger. There's 2 Chargers that have come up with all the characters in this case. Email is aprildavispi@gmail.com. I'd love for somebody to send me that. Oh, that would be so helpful, Julie. Thank you so much. Okay, I must have missed something. Lori, I think Annie said she saw 4 on camera. For what? Because Annie hasn't said anything. She doesn't even want you to look at her. Yeah, don't look at me. I don't want to find my mom. Just get out of my face. Gosh, that lady just. Mm, talk about 2 sisters being on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. 4 people by the garage at Nancy's house. Now, you're speaking of Annie Guthrie? I know there was cameras by the garage, and they simply got thumbnails that didn't uncover anybody. And the cameras facing the back didn't get anything either. She didn't have the best systems, let me tell you. Well, everybody, we got 97 minutes into this, and there's nothing more to talk about. If you're coming in later, go back, see the replay. For those that sent the jewels, thank you. The super chats, thank you. And hopefully this video hasn't cut out like yesterday's video, and hopefully it's still monetized, because yesterday my video that cut out somehow lost its monetization magically. And I always double check when I go live, because I didn't know that when I first started this, that you have to manually turn it on for every single live. And so I always double and triple check that it's turned on. And it was. And then YouTube said, no, that button's not been toggled. I don't even know if I'll get my super chat for yesterday. Crazy. Goodbye, Jane. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming.